Breaking news, the DOJ charging another Russian tonight, this time for trying to create a back channel between that country and the United States through the NRA. This is something Rachel Maddow has been reporting.
Now, the Right to Bear Arms is purportedly a gun rights group founded by a senior member of Putin's political party, which is called United Russia. What's funny about that whole concept is that Vladimir Putin and his party, United Russia, they don't actually support gun rights in Russia. So why did they create this group that purports to promote that?
Indeed, we're getting some clues. This Russian agent charged now with trying to broker meetings between then-candidate Trump and Putin. The indictment detailing this back channel was so Russia could penetrate American decision-making. I'm joined by McClatchy's Greg Gordon. He first broke the story, the FBI's probe into whether Russian money went to the NRA to help Donald Trump. Any other day, I hate to use the cliche, but any other day, this would be the lead story everywhere. And it obviously shows prosecutors building on something you first reported. What is the significance?
Well, for one thing, we originally had an indictment months ago in which Robert Mueller's office charged 13 Russians in connection with the operations of a troll farm in St. Petersburg to influence the election through social media. And then on Friday, we had another indictment coming out of Mueller's office charging a dozen Russians, this time with the hacking of the Democrats in connection with the election. So these Russians, they're all in Russia. But today we learned that Maria Butina, she's a one-time athlete out of Siberia who became the protege of the now deputy governor of Russia's central bank, and Maria Butina has been charged with conspiracy to try to influence the U.S. political process. So let me just say that the FBI affidavit accompanying the release of these charges, the agent Kevin Helson made clear that he wasn't saying everything he knows. So we can expect more to come out of this NRA aspect of the investigation. Whether they found money, we don't know. We reported it late last month, Ari, that the FBI and prosecutors likely did obtain the nonprofit tax returns of the NRA, which would show all of their so-called dark money donors, those being donations that don't have to be made public. And so we don't know whether the money side is going to prove out, but we do know that the NRA is now part of a criminal charge.
Well, and sir, Greg, you speak so calmly, I think some folks may miss the bombshell in your answer here. You're saying that there's been all these Mueller charges of Russians abroad, and people say, well, how are you going to get him, or is Putin going to extradite him? And what's new tonight is the DOJ using similar leads to charge a Russian inside the United States.
That's correct, and we'll have to see how this proceeds. She's facing up to 5 years in prison. There have been lots of conspiracy theories being tossed around about what Vladimir Putin is doing to silence witnesses in this investigation.
And let me ask you before I let you go, because I was dying to get you on this, so we'll do it on live TV. What portion of this relates to what Mueller has uncovered versus what's just normal Washington field office investigation stuff?
I'm not sure where you're going with that question, honestly. Are you
well,
saying,
this person wasn't charged by the special counsel, but the special counsel's been obviously, as you just mentioned, investigating a lot of Russian activity. So what percent of this, from your reporting, do you think is there any overlap? Well,
I think this indictment was brought by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia. However, it seems clear that Bob Mueller's office is moving very quickly now with a midterm election approaching, and he's farming out aspects of his work to the Southern District of New York, to the Eastern District of Virginia, to the U.S. Attorney in D.C. Whether this will become a central part of what his findings are remains to be seen. If the Russians, our original original story. We were the first to report on the broad investigation into the Russians in early 2017, in January of that year, and we reported that there was this investigation of whether the Russians were moving money into the United States to try to assist Donald Trump's presidential candidacy. So we've not seen anything on the money side yet. The NRA allegedly, or at least was the subject of an investigation into whether it was the vehicle. So
Right.
we'll have to wait to see how that turns out.
And that's why a lot of your reporting here has been so fascinating. Greg Gordon, thanks for making the time today.
It's my pleasure, and let me just credit my partner, Peter Stone, who's an expert on the NRA and has been bulwarking this.
I love that you're giving credit all around the office, and we'll get him on as well. Thank you, sir. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.